Another new video of a mob drenching New York's finest. Here, the group, armed with pails of water, target two female officers. This incident coming days after earlier water ambushes in the city, which offers a lesson in human nature. If other people see they can get away with crimes, then others will do it too. The lack of response by the officers before offered tacit encouragement. It's only water, true, but what's next? Who knows? But we know why the cops don't respond. These are the guardians of a liberal enclave. So other than the hardworking taxpayers, who would support them? Not the leaders they protect. Any arrest would draw protests of excessive force, and Al Sharpton would be out with a sign before you can say Tawana Brawley. And if you don't know who she is, then you don't know Al. The mayor of New York is more frightened of mean tweets than he is of crime. So we know where City Hall will stand, right under their desks. And the mayor, embarking on an already absurd presidential run, will use his son once again as an example of how the NYPD racially profiles minorities, even though the force is largely made up of minorities. So this could get worse as prisons close and detention of suspects awaiting trial is eliminated for many in 2020. It's a lesson learned in major cities. Achievements in law enforcement over decades by competent humans and principled politicians can quickly erode once a leftist is in charge. You want to see your future? Try downtown L.A. Just watch where you step. So, Martha, the police are in a tight spot. There are people that think they should be fired if they don't respond. But if you do your job, you risk becoming a public spectacle. Because if a mob forms around you and you end up having to tase somebody, you're the bad guy.
Absolutely. I mean, they are in an untenable position. And, you know, you look at the spectrum of human behavior. I mean, this is where lawlessness ends up heading, right? There are places in the world where the police don't like to go in because they're not welcome there. And if they do something, they may get attacked. That is just the seed that we're seeing in these moments. And as you said, you know, it is so easy to trip over to the other side of that. These people get up every morning. They risk their lives every day to protect the people in their communities. And you know who's going to be less safe because of incidents like this? All of the people who live in that community, because also who wants to be police officers today?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a very, very tough job, and I give them an enormous amount of credit. But these are appalling scenes for all Americans.
Jessica, shouldn't Mayor de Blasio just call it a day, come back and try to run his city?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that one.
President de Blasio, Greg?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please use his formal title. King of the Blackout.
Yes, King of the Blackout. Nice. That's Trumpian.
Don't say that.
God, New Yorkers hate de Blasio.
He should absolutely come home and run this city. I think there are probably about 12 to 15 people who should go back to their very important jobs and let us elect someone who can beat Donald Trump in 2020. This is obviously terrible to see. I grew up here in New York City, cops around all the time, always have had a great relationship with them, and you know they do us a great service. I went and looked at the data. Confidence in the police is hovering around where it has been actually the last 5 years, but respect for the police is actually on an upward tick, and they credit that with the protective measures that are being implemented, like more body cameras, extra scrutiny of departments. So I think that has to continue. Obviously, taking this to the more national conversation here, I think that when you have things like the police officer who put Eric Garner in a chokehold and he walks free a couple weeks ago, those are the kinds of things that then don't give people confidence in the criminal justice system and in the police force, that then leads to not necessarily the water soaker stuff, but lack of confidence in the force.
Well, I would agree that the respect is the cornerstone of good police work, but if you let someone publicly disrespect you like that and you don't do anything about it, that's just going to make your job more dangerous and the streets more dangerous. So I think they should have acted. This is like, you know, when men, instead of punching another guy, they slap him in the face. It's like the most humiliating thing that you can do to someone. That's what this is like. It's almost more disrespectful to throw water on a cop than it is to resist arrest. But that's what these guys want. They want to be seen in the streets as being disrespectful because for some reason they think that helps their street cred. And so what if they get arrested? It's, you know, that's like a badge of honor. They come out in a few hours, they can tell everybody, they become legends. That's how stupid this whole thing is. And this does have root causes, though. They had Colin Kaepernick, everyone's hero. wearing socks that had police as pigs. They had Bill de Blasio saying his own son should be careful when he's around police officers. And then you had Black Lives Matter chanting, fry them up like bacon. Talking about that, and CNN went on a whole jihad against the police department in the second Obama term that wasn't very smart.
New York City police officers turned their back on Bill de Blasio, the mayor of the city, when he walked by them.
It's not fair to blame these kinds of things on Colin Kaepernick. When you
I'm not blaming it all on him, but I'm saying this does have a root cause somewhere.
Kennedy, I want to put. Imagine those are two women surrounded by, I think, a majority of men. If they weren't police officers, this would be actually
assault.
Yeah. Well,
it is an assault.
Yeah, it is an assault, but somehow it's not making the news.
Well, then the mayor has to come out pretty forcefully and say how the police are going to respond and defend themselves. And there is a conversation to be had in this country about criminal justice reform. But the people who are on the street with buckets dousing cops, they're not the ones who are leading the charge, and they actually do the entire movement a great disservice. And it's incredibly unfortunate for those of us who have family members who've been in law enforcement. It's the last thing you want to see, because the worry is, what does this escalate to? And to your point, I just did a walking tour of Skid Row in Los Angeles. Absolutely putrid, disgusting, sad. The way the city government is forcing human beings to live this way. And in Portland, with members of Antifa throwing quick-dry cement on people disguised as milkshakes, and cops are told to stand down. They're not allowed to do anything. And, really lost perspective.